Dionne Jones. She is the CEO and founder of Age with Vibrancy. She wears many hats, along with being the president of the Greater Cleveland chapter of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, my president. She is currently a certified aging strategist and personal trainer. But she wears a lot of hats. So I'm not going to begin to get into some of those hats. I want her to do that. But she is qualified, certified, and ready to share with you some important advice and tips on how we can mastermind around the area of recreation, which to me feeds into our health, it feeds into our nutrition, it feeds into our mental well-being and our businesses. So I will turn it over to you, Ms. Jones. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here today. Listening to you all share your experience about the power of changing your mindset. Many people start many a task and do not succeed because they have not aligned their mindset with their goals. So this is a powerful group. You all have touched my spirit in just a short amount of time. So I continue to encourage you all to keep moving, keep believing, and know that you are more than capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. So thank you, Tia, for having me this evening. Thank you all to the rest of the mastermind. As Tia stated, my name is Dionne Jones. I go by Coach DJ, and I am going to touch a little bit this evening on what you all are calling recreation, but I call it movement and active living. I am a gerontologist by trade, and I am a gerontologist because I watched my grandmother age with vibrancy. Everyone thinks of aging as canes and Lipitor and giving up, but I know that there is another side to that. So I have been blessed to share my ministry of getting people to age well, not just physically, but also spiritually, and to create a community. It wasn't my goal in the beginning, but I realized that I have created a community of active agers. So I'm going to share some of what we do with the Age with Vibrancy family, because we are a family. So this evening, I just want to get you acclimated to movement and active living and recreation, of course, because when I think of recreation, I think of when I was younger, during the summer, my girlfriends and I would walk to our local recreation center. There we would swim, there we would chase each other, play, run from the boys, all that good stuff. And I want you all to kind of remember those days and instill that into your days now. Just because we may have a little snow on top of the head now and maybe in some other places, doesn't mean that we have to give up our childlike joy of movement. It may look a little differently. We may not be running and chasing each other. Some people still run. That's not my wheelhouse. That's not my testimony. I will walk briskly. So this is my information. You can definitely screenshot that, and like Ms. Tia said, I will put that in the chat later. But yes, natural movement. People have, or I should say exercise has a bad reputation because we see a lot of unnecessary things on TV. I'm just gonna blame it on crazy stuff like The Biggest Loser, which is just not realistic. I don't eat 175 calories a meal. I don't work out 8 hours a day. And we see those people go home, and what do? Everything becomes undone, and they're back even worse to when they started, because movement is not just movement. It's part of you. It's part of your DNA. It's part of your mindset. So I'm hoping that this evening I can create a little joy around movement and healthy living. So that's what we do at Age with Vibrancy. Just a little bit about myself. I am 52. I am an Army vet. I'm a mom of two, a wife of one, and I am grateful that I have been blessed to be able to move and help others move, because I've seen some things. I've had friends who haven't made it. I've had family members who are younger than me who are not here because of lack of movement, mindset, nutrition, and some other decisions that weren't made, that weren't centered around living an optimal life. So a few things that we can do to move, because everybody, like I said, thinks exercise, gym, personal trainer, because yes, I am that too. But my first love of movement came from connecting with the earth with my grandmother. She had an acre of a garden on 173rd and Harvard in the Cleveland area. So out there with the sunshine, out there with the slugs, which I did not like, but connecting with my grandmother, connecting with the earth, and moving and getting nutrition from what we grew was my first introduction and my first love of incorporating movement daily. So I always say wash your own car, but I'm gonna be real. I don't wash my car anymore. I think I did that in college. I think the last time I did that, my siblings may wash my car, but I will go through the car wash. But you can vacuum out your car before the car wash. That is still movement. Being mindful. I live in Ohio, and yes, we get snow. I heard someone say they were in Atlanta. They may not get snow, so you're not going to be shoveling, but you can sweep. Not your yard. Please don't go out there and sweep your yard, because your neighbors may call on you. But sweeping is movement. What I love to incorporate with my clients is functional fitness. So things that you don't even think about, like you see here, doing squats while brushing your teeth. When you're out in the park walking, incorporate some lunges. Stop and do modified jumping jacks. It doesn't have to be an entire production for recreation. I know people get bogged down with the matching outfit. Have to go to the look fabulous. Everything has to coordinate, mushroom vest, mushroom belt. We don't have to do all that. You can do it right in your house, especially if you have stairs. I know a lot of my older clients fear the stairs. And a lot of that I work with is mindset. But if you have steps at home, I encourage you to set a timer. Start with 5 minutes a day, walking up and down the steps. The goal is to get up to 20 minutes. I say the steps because everyone doesn't have the option or the luxury of having a treadmill in their home. And the treadmill is harmful to your joints. It can be very painful, especially if you've gotten older, you have joint issues, alignment issues. So the walking, using the steps, keeping everything lubricated is a fantastic way to incorporate movement and recreation. Make it fun. You can incorporate your spouse, you can incorporate your pets. I've encouraged my neighbor who is a recent widow. She uses her and her dog. They go out in the yard and she let him go on his leash. They have a fenced in, and she has just come back to life, just chasing her dog. I hear her out there laughing, and the dog is barking, and she's just having a great time. And she called me the other day and she said, "You got me." She said, "You have me out here exercising and I didn't even realize it." She's like, "I've had so much fun with it." And I said, that's the whole point. Exercise is not a negative thing. It's just a simple movement. You can create and build the recreation around it. The recreation, like I said, the swimming, even the roller skates, people still love roller skating. Be mindful. I know, like I said, we have this notion that we're getting older and maybe I shouldn't try certain things because I can hurt myself. Once again, mindset. You can fall on roller skates at 5. You can fall on roller skates at 55. Yes, it may be a little more recovery time at 55, but we have more cushion now. So I think you'll be great. So I encourage you today, pick one thing that you used to do from your childhood that was fun, that made you laugh and smile and just feel full of life inside, and introduce that back into your life. Coloring. Coloring is recreation. Coloring allows you to center yourself again. It is calming. It helps with the the mind body connection. And then it creates beautiful things. It creates beauty in the earth. And the beautiful thing about it, you can do it by yourself. You can have a community. So just think of something, just one thing to bring some recreation and movement back into your life. So, like I said, I just want you to love movement. I talked about mindset already. And I would love to know what you all feel about exercise. What do you believe about exercise? Is it a good thing? Is it a positive thing for you? Is it something that kind of brings up some dredge, some old trauma about gym in high school? Or because there's so many things, so many layers to this that I've learned with my clients. So what do you feel about exercise? What is your current belief? Anybody?
I love, this is Gloria. Uh, I believe exercise is very important. It's important to have your blood circulating through your body. It helps you to think clearer. It actually helps you to feel better. It helps you to build confidence in yourself. It's very, very relaxing. And it actually makes me feel that I'm in oneness with the earth. You talked about the earth. I like to feel the sun, the wind. I walk in the rain, hadn't walked in snow yet, but I played in snow to see the birds and or to hear the birds, see the butterflies, see people. It could be social. When you see animals, other dogs walking, or not dogs walking, but people walking their dogs, and just other people walking and seeing cars. So it's therapeutic. So walking for me is very therapeutic, and it's very healthy for me to get that exercise and to take my mind off of other things I may be thinking about. Because when I walk, my mind is free to think about whatever I want to think about. So it's very important. It's a part of my life. And if people were to describe me, they would say that she's a health enthusiast, because with the recreation of walking, that's what I enjoy doing. Then I also am a juicer. I love to juice. I like to eat clean. So it's a part of my everyday life. It is a part of me. So thanks for asking the question.
Oh, thank you, Gloria. You are definitely on the right track because I just chopped up all my fruits and vegetables so I could juice. Was it Miss Anastasia? I saw your hand up.
It's Anastia.
I'm sorry.
That's
I've
okay.
made you a Disney character. I apologize.
It's okay. I think someone else had their hand up before me. I don't know if you're still going to talk, but if not, I can go.
Okay, I think it
I can
disappeared
wait.
again.
No, I can
Okay.
wait. That was me.
Oh, I'm sorry. It
Okay.
went down and you moved. Okay.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
I have such a unique perspective also on exercise, and I love how you explained it, incorporating it into your everyday life. A lot of times when we think about exercise, we think about going to the gym and we think about all these other things, but really it's just incorporating it into your life. And I actually launched a business earlier this year that embodies holistic health. And so it's mental health, physical health, and also social health. And so, when we're thinking about a holistic approach to living life, we're not just thinking about one aspect because they all intertwine. So the physical exercise is actually working on your mental health. The mental mindfulness of what you're doing is working on the physical health, and having a very healthy social circle is working on everything together. So I love the fact of what you're doing. I think it's incredible. And so for me, it's just moving in that aspect. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I would love to speak with you outside of outside of the group just a little bit more. It's very incredible. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. It does my heart well to see so many people incorporating this. Miss Wallace?
Yes, I just wanted to say that exercise is the walking part of it is good for me, for my energy, because I love nature. And it's so important for me to go to the water
Mm,
as well as the trees. I have to have all that extra energy. So I've been trying to not look at it as a burden, but a lifestyle, making it a part of my lifestyle. That's what I tell myself. No, this is a part of your lifestyle because that's how I have to encourage myself. But that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we do have to encourage ourselves because life gets busy and gets in the way. And we, especially as women, find it so easy to push ourselves all the way at the bottom of our priority list. So definitely keep moving and keep encouraging yourself. So I am an affirmation person because like you all are doing your 30-day challenge, I also do 30-day challenges for my clients. And speaking things out loud, words have a frequency, thoughts have a frequency. When you speak things out loud, in the beginning, you may not believe them. So you have to keep repeating them so that your body and your mind believes them. And as stated in you all's challenge, it does manifest itself into the positive direction and goals that you set. So I'm not going to read these because we're all big girls, but we know. But my biggest one is I love to move my body. And I have my clients say this every day. I have a client who has mobility issues. As a young child, she was in a horrific accident and they didn't think that she was even going to be here. But to see the things that she has accomplished, even in a wheelchair, it just keeps me so motivated and focused and to continue with my mission and my ministry. But just something as simple as I love to move my body because some people cannot. So once again, being grateful, leading with gratitude. Gratitude is another big thing that I incorporate into my workshops and my coaching programs. So yes, I'm gonna wrap it up soon. A personal plan. You all know all too well about personal plans and the importance of planning and goal setting. So this is preaching to the choir, but make it clear. A lot of people come to me, I want to lose weight. Yeah, okay. Why? So you just keep asking why, keep asking why, keep asking why. And then you'll get to the root of it. And it's sometimes simply because some trauma that they experienced as a child, and they're still trying to make up for that. So that's why my social work background comes in handy when it comes to helping people dig down into those goals, because a lot of goals that we realize are superficial. I want to look good. Okay. I want to lose weight. Okay. How about let's lower the A1C? Let's let that be a goal, and everything else falls into place. So if you have to see your doctor, definitely before starting a program, any kind of program, definitely consult with your physician and taking a balanced approach. I do strength training, flexibility, and cardio for all my clients. For women, it's heavy on the strength training because as we get older, we lose muscle mass and we incur, some people incur a lot of falls, but my goal is to have a no fall life. Because what I've seen with a lot of my older adults is that first fall, it seems to be unfortunately a trigger to a downward spiral. So if you can, like I said, every day move, but also incorporate some strength training, balance and flexibility, yoga, tai chi, core training, walking is cardio. You don't have to run. Running actually is hard on your joints. You can get just as much benefit walking, not just Sunday walking, but just a little brisk walk. Get their heart rate up. I know a lot of people have Apple Watches, so you can see that you are actually exerting some energy and some force. So I'm going to ask you again. I've had you kind of think about what you may want to incorporate, something from your childhood, or even something that you may want to even try that you've never tried before. What kind of exercise would you like to add to your life, or what kind of movement would you like to add? I know we have a lot of walkers, which is phenomenal. I'm not saying you have to go climbing mountains or anything, but think of something that you wanted to incorporate. And just like, yes, Miss Wallace?
Dancing. I want to do an African dance.
Oh my goodness, it is, oh, when I tell you it is part of us anyway, the beats, the rhythm, you just go to a different place. Even your heart feels it. So yes, that would be excellent. I would love to hear, once you find a class, I would love to hear how it is going for you. But just like anything else, schedule it. I know we all have calendars, Google calendars, Apple calendars. Put your movement on a calendar. Schedule it just like you do a meeting, and hold yourself accountable. You are in a mastermind, so you know all too well about the power of accountability. Get a movement buddy. I always pair up my clients, and they hear from me, but just like you don't want to hear from your parents, you don't want to hear from the authority figure, it's always easier to hear from a peer. So get you a movement buddy. And like I said, put that movement on a calendar, even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes a day, your body will thank you. So I'm going to put my information down for sure. So you all don't mind being your exercise buddy, just to help you with some things. And I would love to follow up with you, Ms. Johnson, for sure. Let me touch one thing about obstacles. When I began my journey, go back just a little bit, in my 20s and in my 30s,
Thank you so much.
I was in the military. So I was fit, all that good stuff. And of course, when you're 20, life is completely different. After I left the military, I got married, had children, and movement just took on my movement was basically getting in the car, making lunches, getting in the car, taking the kids to all their activities. And I looked around and I had gotten to 200 pounds on this little 5'3" frame, and I was miserable. My joints hurt. I couldn't sleep on my back. I couldn't sleep on my side. And I kept putting obstacles in the way. I kept saying, oh, it's genetics, because my mother and my aunts, and they're obese. They are. And I kept blaming it on genetics. I kept using that as an obstacle. And it honestly took me about 5 years to finally get out of my own way, because we are our worst enemy, our biggest obstacle sometimes. And I started working on my mindset, and I started moving. And it was just like you stated, walking outside, something as simple as walking outside. And I think the trigger for me was having flashes of my grandmother and myself as a young child in that garden, and knowing that I had veered far, far, far from her original teachings. So those obstacles, I don't care where they come from. They can be your spouse, I've had some clients whose spouses don't want them to be in shape, which is a whole nother dissertation. Honey, I saw you touched. I saw you tilt that head, Miss Tanya. It's amazing. I have literally had to like almost come to blows with some spouses about wanting their spouse not to be healthy because they like them a certain way. So that's that's a whole nother dissertation. But yes, those obstacles, once again, mindset, prioritize yourself and put yourself on a schedule and track your progress. You all know about that. We have enough, Lord, we have digital tracking apps for everything, accountability partners. So track your progress. I will definitely love to hear how you all incorporate recreation this month and reward yourself. I know, especially our culture, we like to celebrate with food, but I'm going to have you kind of rework that. You can celebrate with healthy food, but my favorite thing is I love to celebrate with books. I'm a book junkie. So I will set a goal, and if I accomplish it, I will get a new book. And I don't like digital books because I like to flip pages. So that's how I reward myself for staying on track. And a massage, of course, is always great because once again, getting that blood flowing and etc. So don't forget to reward yourself on your progress and keep your journal, because your journal wraps up everything that we talked about today. It increases your awareness, your mindfulness. It helps you clarify that goal, hold yourself accountable, and it's okay to fall off the wagon. Please give yourself grace. We are so hard on ourselves as women. I'm going to tell you right now, there is no such thing as perfect. I know some people believe it is, but you will drive yourself crazy trying to be perfect. Just keep moving forward, upward, and onward, and that will help so much. So I give homework because this is part of my program, but I've already shared with you the homework throughout the presentation. So you can take a screenshot just so you can stay familiar with some of the things. Like I said, just one thing every day, just movement. Something as simple as parking further from the store, getting those extra steps, using the steps inside your home, 5 minutes, build up to 10. Another week goes by, add another 5. Try to get 30 minutes on those steps at home if you can't make it to the gym. If you have a gym membership, that is phenomenal. If you haven't graced the doors of that, utilizing that membership, that's okay too. But try to get there at least twice, at least 3 times a week. My goal is for you to move 6 days a week because your body does need a recovery day. So create your personal plan, track, and don't worry about that last statement because this is not week 8 for you all. But I am so honored to have been able to share with you all the joy that I feel when I move, when I share my ministry. So if there are any questions, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to put my link tree in the chat because that's the easiest way. So I am stop sharing. Thank you, Tia. Thank you all for participating, and thank you so much for your beautiful energy.